Hey guys, it's Charmise Eaters here, and today I'll be telling you what you have to have on your soap label and some recommendations, so stay tuned. So in one of my previous videos, I did discuss what you need to have on your cosmetics labels according to the FDA, and I will put that up in the cards above. But I did want to have a specific video just for soap because it is different as long as you're saying that your soap only cleans the skin, and I'll get into that in a couple of minutes. But first, I want to say make sure you do your due diligence and make sure you check out those links below because things do change from time to time. So make sure you're always up to date on the information. I have cited my sources in the links below, so make sure you check those out. But first things first, we need to discuss what is soap. So I have my notes in my phone here because I do not want to tell you the wrong thing. So this definition actually came from the FDA website, which is the first link below. And it is 3 bullet points, which I'll read and then I will summarize to make a little more sense the way it makes sense to me. So the first bullet point is what it's made of. To be regulated as soap, the product must be composed mainly of alkali salts of fatty acids. That is the material you get when you combine fats or oils with alkali, such as lye, which just basically means you added your olive oil and your lard or your coconut oil, whatever you put into your soap, with your lye to make your bar of soap. And this can go for your melt and pour, hot process, or cold process. So the next bullet point would be what ingredients cause its cleaning action. To be regulated as soap, those alkali salts of fatty acids must be the only material that results in the product's cleaning action. If the product contains synthetic detergents, it's a cosmetic, not a soap. You can still use the word soap on the label. So I know your next question might be, Charmise, what is a synthetic detergent? And I do have the definition here, which kind of didn't help me still, but the examples were dish detergent and laundry detergent. And I will put the definition in the links below, but those were the 2 examples that I kept getting over and over. But the third bullet point, which I think is the most important for us to determine whether it's a cosmetic or a soap, because a lot of people's labels might need to be marked as cosmetic instead of soap because of this one. And it says how it's intended to be used. To be regulated as soap, it must be labeled and marketed only for use as soap. If it is intended for purposes such as moisturizing the skin, making the user smell nice, or deodorizing the user's body, it's a cosmetic. Or if the product is intended to treat or prevent disease, such as by killing germs or treating skin conditions such as acne or eczema, it's a drug. You can still use the word soap on the label. So if you say your soap is moisturizing, deodorizing, or exfoliating, then it is technically a cosmetic, and you will need to visit the cards above to get that video on what a cosmetic is, which I did have to change a lot of my soaps too because I said they were moisturizing. And then if you say that your soap treats acne or hyperpigmentation or eczema, psoriasis, something like that, then it is technically a drug, which could be a whole nother video, but I put the links to that below as well. So through the FDA website, I was able to find out that the FDA does not actually regulate the soap. It is the CPSC, I think it is. Yes, the Consumer Product Safety Commission who regulates soap, but they actually don't have specific requirements for soap unless you are making soap for specifically kids under 12. So if you're making like baby soap or something like that, you will definitely need to check out the CPSC website, and that is the second link down below. Or if you're adding a hazardous material, hazardous substance to your soap, then you definitely need to check that out. But as far as the labeling goes, that is actually under the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, which was regulated by the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act in 1960 something. So that is what we will go by. And so now, finally, I will get to what you need to have labeled on your soap. So there are only two things that the FTC says that you need to have on the front of your soap, which is also called the principal display panel. And the first thing would be that you need to identify it as soap. So you can just put soap, or you can say handcrafted. I say handmade soap. That's how I identify it. And then the second thing that you need to put on the front is the net contents. So if you have a solid bar of soap, you need to put it in weight, because it's not a liquid, so you wouldn't put it in, you know, fluid ounces. So I would say that this bar is like net weight 3 ounces. So I would just put net, and then usually I put WT period for weight, and then 3 ounces. And then I would also put it in the metric grams as well. And then that's the only things you actually have to have on the front. But I would also put my logo on there, of course, and then with the scent of the soap. So I'd lavender scented soap or something like that. So yeah, only thing you have to have: identity, which is soap, and net contents, which is net weight, with the imperial and the metric measurements. So now let's move on to the informational panel of your soap, which is typically the side or the back of the soap. And there's only one thing you actually have to have on there, and that is the name and street address of your company. So I would say manufactured by or distributed by Charmed Bath and Body. And then I would put my street address, including, you know, the street, the city, state, zip code on there. But if you do have your address listed like on your website, or like the yellow pages, white pages, whatever, then you can actually just put your city. So I would just put distributed by Charmed Bath and Body, Greenville, South Carolina 29611, because my address is on like Google and my website and on my cards. So yes, that is when you can leave off your address. They say you cannot put a PO box on there, so don't put a PO box on there. Put your actual business address on there. So I know this is not required to put on your label, but I would definitely recommend putting your ingredients on the label, because I know a lot of people buy handmade soap just because they can recognize the ingredients. It is very refreshing to pick up a soap and you see olive oil on the back, coconut oil, not all these words that you can't even pronounce or have never seen before. So I always put my ingredients on the back because people have allergies, and I definitely would want to know what's in my soap. So I put it in descending order. So from greatest to least, I start off with olive oil, distilled water, or you can put the INCI names, which I always Google, and I just go ahead and put them in that too, and then put the like olive in parentheses. So I'll put a example here. But yeah, I always put the ingredients on the back as well. And I know that some people don't want to put lye or sodium hydroxide on the back, because some of their customers might not understand that there is no soap without lye, basically. So, I have had 2 people question me, like, why do you put lye in your soap? That is so terrible for your body. And I'm like, girl. But anyway. So yeah, I know that you may get that question. I have seen other people put saponified oils of olive oil, castor oil, coconut oil, instead of putting actually lye on there, because lye is the thing that saponifies the soap, and there's no lye in the final product. So that's a thing. I don't do it, but I've seen it in stores, like, handmade soap in stores put saponified oils instead of putting sodium hydroxide or lye. But yeah, put your ingredients on the soap. Recommended anyway, not needed. And as far as font size and all that stuff goes, I did not find a specific font size like I did for the FDA for the cosmetics labels, but I did find that you have to have them predominantly and conspicuously displayed on your label. So like, I don't have it real small in the corner like what the identity of it is, or the net weight. I just have it all parallel to the bar of soap and nice and big where people can read it. So just to reiterate, because I know I've been talking for a little minute and it's kind of boring, but it's kind of things you need to know. The things you have to have on your soap label is the identity, which is soap. You need to have the net contents, so net weight of your bar of soap. and then your name and address, and you can omit the street address, like the actual street name and number, if you have it somewhere else, like your website, Google, something like that, or your, you know, business cards, wherever whoever's ordering your product can see somehow your address, but you'll still need to have the state, city, zip code on there. So like I said at the beginning of the video, everything is cited below, so if you want to check it out, go ahead and check those links out. That is exactly where I learned my information from. So, oh, and if you have anything to add, like if I accidentally skipped something, which I tried not to do, I think I checked off everything on my list over here. Put it in the comments, because we're just trying to help people out here. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you liked my video, and if you like my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Or if you like the video, just like the video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.